Starting off my list at number 10, I have Ken Waldichuk. Ken Waldichuk came back to the A's in the trade with the Yankees that saw Frankie Montas go back to the Yankees. Well, that's been kind of a bust in itself, but that's a different story for a different time. Ken Waldichuk, though, he has been absolutely abysmal for the A's, and everything is going wrong for the A's right now, and that's why they're going to be going to Vegas rather soon. In 9 games so far this year, he has a 6.85 ERA, a 7.30 FIP. Those are abysmal numbers. Look at the strikeout numbers, under 8 strikeouts per 9. This is a guy that had double-digit strikeouts in the minor leagues, and his walks have shot all the way up above 5 walks per 9. This was a decent prospect for the Yankees and the A's. Take a look at where he ranked. He was the number 10 prospect heading into 2022 with the Yankees, and he was the number 5 prospect coming into this year. I know he's a rookie. I know rookies are going to go through growing pains. That's just how it is, but these are really bad numbers, and I don't know. He's looking like a bust to me right now. At number 9, I have James KARINCHAK. James KARINCHAK has been one of the most fun relievers to watch over the last few years, but he's having a really bad season for the Guardians bullpen this year. Take a look. 22 games so far, an ERA of 5.03, a 6.70 FIP, a negative 0.6 Fangraph WAR. That is just absolutely abysmal. Now, he still does have the strikeout numbers. The walk numbers are kind of around the same, but they're way up from last year, over a walk more this season so far. Even the xFIP doesn't look all that great, a 4.68. The Guardians bullpen was one of the best bullpens in Major League Baseball last year, and they're not really performing very well this year. 21st overall in Fangraph WAR. Now, you're still having some of the usual guys like Emmanuel Clase having a decent season this year, not the season that he had last year. Eli Morgan, Curry, Stephan have been pretty good this year so far, but this bullpen, they're not really producing like they were last year, and the Guardians are not really the same looking team as last year. 20 and 24 right now. They're going to have to turn this bullpen around, and James KARINCHAK, this is a guy where if he is at his best, he can absolutely anchor this bullpen, but right now, he's not looking too good. At number 8, I have Blake Snell. I just got to watch Blake Snell last night against my Red Sox, and my Red Sox cooked him. My goodness, Blake Snell off to a tough start this year. The Padres are just off to a tough start in general this year. But Blake Snell, this is a guy who had a really good second half last year, and people were hoping he was going to carry that over into 2023, and that has just not happened. 9 starts, 45 innings, a 5.40 ERA, a 5.56 FIP. He's a free agent after this year. He is going to have to turn this around if he wants to get himself a decent contract in the offseason. I don't know what's going on with Blake Snell. The whole team, like I said, they're just not really clicking right now, but Blake Snell especially is not clicking. That starting pitching needs a boost. He's going to have to step it up. Can he have those same numbers that he did in the second half last year? We'll have to wait and see, but he just does not have a rhythm going right now. Let's see if he can turn it around. At number 7, I have Michael KOPECH. Now, Michael KOPECH did just have a good start. He had 8 shutout innings, struck out 10 guys. But Michael KOPECH, he has not really had a good season up to this point. 9 starts, a 4.83 ERA, a 6.28 FIP. Now, he did just have the good start, but with Michael KOPECH, this is a guy when he was a former Red Sox prospect. There's been a lot of hype around this guy, which feels like forever, and he has just never been able to really get it going. He has shown glimpses of just being this dominant pitcher, but he's just never really fully been able to get it going, whether that's, stuff off the field or health-wise or whatever it is. He just, I don't know, man. And this year, he's putting up his worst numbers so far. This is a guy who throws absolute gas. He's got nasty stuff. I hope he can get this turned around. And we did just see the good start, but I don't know. The 8 starts before that weren't looking too great. Got really rocked, and I don't know. KOPECH, to me, I'm looking at it not just from this year, but also the last couple of years. When is this guy finally just gonna turn into the guy that people have been waiting for? I don't know. Are we ever gonna see it? Like I said, we've seen glimpses, but I don't know. KOPECH, I hope the best for him. I hope he keeps this going, but we'll just have to wait and see. At number 6, I have Tyler O'Neill. Man, just a couple of years ago, this guy had a really good season. Taking a look at the numbers, 138 games, at 286, a 352 on base, a 560 slugging, 34 homers, 80 RBIs. He also had 15 stolen bases as well, was playing decent defense out in left field. But this guy, over the last couple of years, his numbers have just completely gone down. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. He's on the IL right now with a back issue. I'm wondering if Tyler O'Neill at some point could become trade bait, as the Cardinals, they really could improve the starting pitching. And the Cardinals do have quite a few outfielders, so I wonder if Tyler O'Neill could become expendable. But man, from what we saw a couple of years ago, luckily the lineup, other guys in the lineup are just hitting like crazy right now, so they're not really missing Tyler O'Neill all that much. I mean, they're probably maybe even happy he's not really in the lineup right now based off of the numbers that we're seeing. He had the issues with, Marmol earlier in the season where there was, questions about his hustle. I don't know. I'm wondering if Tyler O'Neill could use a new team at some point. Maybe a change of scenery could get him going, but we know what he can do. But based off of what he's done in the last couple of years and the health, I mean, he's been kind of a bust. At number 5, I have Jean Segura. Man, this guy was just playing in the World Series for the Phillies not too long ago, and now he's with the Marlins, and he has been abysmal. 40 games, 150 plate appearances. He's hitting .204, a .268 on base, a .241 slugging, a 44 WRC plus. 44, a negative 0.8 Fangraph WAR. These are unbelievable numbers, man. I know he shifted over to third base. That's not really a position that he's played all that much. So I don't know if he's maybe just so fixated on that or what. I don't know what it is. It's something mechanical going on, or if it's a mental thing, or whatever it is. But Jean Segura has been an absolute bust. And the Marlins, their offense right now really could use that bat to step up. This is why they signed the guy. This guy had a pretty decent year last year. He did have some injuries. He was limited to 98 games. He hit .277, had a .336 on base. So he can get on base a bit and he can hit, but my goodness, like these numbers, I don't know what's going on in Miami. They're 25th in offense right now, or in WRC plus. So I don't know. Is this the end for Jean Segura? Have we seen the best of him? I don't know, but this is really bad. At number 4, I have Alek Manoah. Man, oh man, how quickly things can turn around. Alek Manoah has been absolutely abysmal this year. Taking a look, 9 starts, a 5.40 ERA, a 6.45 FIP. Look at the numbers from last year. He had almost 200 innings pitched at 24 years old, an ERA of 2.24, FIP of 3.35, xFIP of 3.97. Everything has just completely shot up. I don't know what it is. The velocity is a tick down from last year. I don't know what is going on with him. We take a look. We see a lot of blues here. He's still getting good extension, good spin on the fastball. If we take a look at his pitch usage, it's really not that much different. He is throwing less fastballs. I don't know if that has to do with maybe the less velocity, and he's just trying to work in, the sinkers a little bit more. If we go back to the numbers, actually, the ground ball percentage, it's actually still right around the same, 37.5% last year, 38% this year. So if we go a little further, taking a look, he's still getting good run value on the sinker. But if we take a look, the fastball, look at the four-seamer here, a 2 run value this year, and last year it had a negative 18. That was one of the best fastballs in the game. So that is a huge problem for him. He's still getting good movement on his changeup. He's still getting good movement on the slider this year. But the fastball, he's completely lost it. I don't know. There's something that's going on here with him. I really don't know what else to say. But Alek Manoah, these numbers are abysmal. He has been their worst pitcher so far this year. For the Blue Jays, their starting pitching still ranks okay at 13th overall. Gosman has been really good this year so far. Barrios, he's had his moments. He has a 3.60 FIP, so that's a good sign. Bassett's been okay at times. He has a good ERA, but the FIP and xFIP are way higher than the ERA. Kikuchi, he's had a couple of good moments, but Manoah, it's crazy to see that he's been their worst pitcher so far. I don't know. Anthony Recker, maybe he got into his head a little bit. I don't know what's going on there, but Alek Manoah, he's got to turn this around, man. At number 3, I have George Springer. George Springer has been one of the most solid players over the last few years. He deals with injuries here and there, but George Springer is one of the better players in the game. And take a look at the numbers that he had last year. Really good numbers. Hit 267, a 342 on base, 472 slugging, over a 4 Fangraph WAR. And this year, he's still in the negatives with a negative 0.4. He's only hitting 228, a 290 on base, 327 slugging, 5 homers. Even his defense is still lagging behind. It's just not a good season so far for George Springer. Luckily, everyone else in the lineup is contributing. They're 11th overall in offense right now. You're seeing a good season from Bo Bichette. Matt Chapman got off to a really hot start. I mean, even Kevin Kiermaier's been doing pretty decent. Vlad Jr., not quite back at the numbers from a couple of years ago, but still really good numbers overall. Whit Merrifield contributing with speed. It's just not really a lot from George Springer right now. We're not used to seeing him doing this badly. So I don't know. I don't know if he's working through an injury or something right now, but this has been kind of a bust of a year for the Blue Jays, and there's a lot of expectations for the Blue Jays this year. At number 2, I have Manny Machado. Recently just went on the IL with a fractured hand, but up to this point, he has been really bad. He has not had a good season after having an MVP caliber season last year. I mean, look at these numbers that he had last year. He hit 298, 366 on base, a 531 slugging, 32 homers, 102 RBIs, great defense at third base. I mean, what has happened? He has just completely fallen off. He's only hitting 231, a 282 on base, a 372 slugging, an 81 WRC plus. Like, Manny Machado, it's just, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if his head is just in another place. He did just help purchase a Major League Soccer expansion team. I mean, my goodness. I mean, that's exciting that San Diego is getting a soccer team, but I'm sure good for him. He's going to be making some moolah off of this, but Manny Machado, I mean, what is going on? You got to get your head back in the game, my friend. These numbers are not looking good at all. In my opinion, this has been kind of a bust, especially with what we saw last year from him. And at number 1, I have Jose Abreu. This, in my opinion, is the biggest bust so far. I mean, my goodness, Jose Abreu. What is going on here? This guy signed for a pretty decent contract in the offseason, 3 years, $58.5 million. People were so high on this signing. People were so excited for this signing for the Astros. You got the short left field. This guy pulls. People were thinking this guy's going to hit 30, 40 homers there. People considered it one of the best signings in the offseason. And look at the numbers. He's only hitting 223, a 279 on base, a 265 slugging, a 52 WRC plus. He has no home runs. This guy has not homered once this year in 43 games. I don't know what is going on here. The Astros offense as a whole has not been great, 21st overall, but they signed this guy to be in the middle of their order, and he has just not produced at all. Now, they did just get Jose Altuve back. I don't know if maybe that could provide a bit of a spark, a little more length in the lineup, but with Jose Altuve, it's probably going to get him, or it's going to take him a little bit to get going here. He's been out for a little bit, so I don't know. This offense, I mean, when you look at this offense, you got names all over here. Bregman, Alvarez, Tucker. But Abreu was brought in to be a thumper in the middle of this order, and he has just not produced. He has not lived up to this contract. He's been, in my opinion, probably the worst signing from the offseason, which is crazy because people considered it one of the best signings of the offseason. So, I don't know. To me, I think Jose Abreu, as of right now, he has been the biggest bust. But let me know what you think down below in the comments. Am I missing anyone on this list? Do you think anyone should be up higher on this list, lower on this list? Let me know in the comments. If you can, like the video, subscribe if you are new. But thanks for watching, everyone. And that's all I have for right now. I'll talk to you next time.